You've been told your voice is too much or that it wasn't enough. Both of those were lies. Doesn't matter what other people say. Your voice is exactly what it's meant to be. It's meant to be you. Let's talk about that today. Hi, my name is Steve Kidd. I'm a third generation minister, international best-selling author of 39 books and counting. I've had the wonderful privilege of working with nearly 5,000 people, helping them write, publish, market their books to bestseller, and everything that goes beyond that. But as a marketing company for 40 years, more than all the stuff we've done in book space and all the cool stuff we've been allowed to do over the years, what I really am just here to do is help you architect your clarity, help you find the way to truly be visible and valuable, to be seen as the you that is you, and show up in the world as the person that you were created and meant to be, to do the things in this world that only you can do, in the way that only you can do them. And I love being in that space because I know how incredibly cool and amazing you are. And I really do love having the opportunity to get to share you with the world, to let people see your coolness, your unique brilliance, the amazingness that is you. Today, as we talk about your voice, I want to look at some of the messages that people outside of us have sold us on, I suppose is really the right word. They told us certain things about ourselves, and we now take them in as though they were ever actually really truth or facts, as though their BS was ever any kind of real truth, as though their opinion mattered. Let's just put it really that way. It was really a situation where the thing that we now live by, this not code, but less than nature that defines how we show up in the world, is somebody else's opinion of us, based totally in what? In their belief in us or lack thereof, in their observation of us, in their opinion of how somebody's supposed to show up in the world. And it doesn't matter. You can go to either end of the spectrum. And the interesting part about it is you go and you get advice from one person, and that person tells you that you need to talk louder, you need to project more, you need to speak as though you're talking to the back of the room, and the next person tells you, oh, your voice is too loud and boomy, you need to be quieter, you need to learn the soft, subtle process of talking in a whisper. I'd really like somebody to be a vocal coach. And I suppose maybe this is kind of the space that I'm filling in, not with intention, but just because it's kind of what comes out. And when we talk about you showing up as the real you, I'd really like them to just say, hey, you know what? What I'd like for you to do is just tell me a story. Tell me your favorite story from when you were a child. Doesn't matter if it has anything to do. Don't worry about call to actions or the hashtags you're going to use with it, or whether or not, you giggle in the middle of it, or, any of those kind of things. And this is not me dissing. I have some friends that are very, very good vocal coaches, performance coaches, those kind of things. What y'all do is amazing and it's great. But I guess the place that I really want to fill in, that's a gap that's totally missing, is the concept of showing up on stage as yourself. A few years back, several years back actually now, because we're talking like probably 2016, give or take. That's probably right, 2016 or 2017. I don't know, it'll come to me, but either way, let's just say 2016. Lisa Nichols, many of you know or have heard of Lisa Nichols. If you haven't, she was one of the writers in the book. She wrote one of the chapters in the book, The Secret. She's been on Oprah several times. She was actually Steve Harvey's success coach business coach, whatever. She was his coach back when the Steve Harvey show initially started, and has been on Steve Harvey show many times. She was a regular life coach, I guess you would call it, on the Dr. Phil show for an entire season. Um, and most notably though, Lisa is a powerful speaker. I guarantee you, and total total transparency here, so you don't feel like I'm talking out of turn. My youngest daughter is actually married to Lisa's only son, so I know Lisa. I think she's an amazing lady. I could tell you, the ditches on both sides of the road, but incredibly cool stuff. And the one more than anything that Lisa is amazing at is she is inspirational when she speaks. She will spark something in you. And she's really good at clearing out, meaning getting every last dollar that's in the room, getting the people to at least sign up. Okay. Absolutely. Lisa could pick up her grocery list and read you, this is the things I'm going to the store and get. And you could, prior to her reading you the list, have always said, I don't really like guacamole. I don't really like avocados, that kind of thing. And you would be inspired. You'd want to go to Fallbrook, which is the avocado capital of the world, according to Fallbrook at least. We had, when I lived there, the avocado festival every year, and get the avocados from there. It's really interesting, because I live in Kansas now, and I was used to being at the grocery store where you see an avocado and it's like 99 cents. Normal. I mean, regularly. I mean, you could buy a bag of them for like $5. And I'm talking about height of the pandemic, height of shortages, all those kind of things. In fact, one of the houses that I lived in there, we had an avocado tree. Now, I will tell you, you're in massive competition with the little squirrels, and they will jack those avocados really a couple of seconds before you'd really want to pick them off the tree. But they keep on top of those avocados. They love it. And there is nothing cooler than seeing a little squirrel learning how to run on his back legs with an avocado that's as big as his whole head, because the squirrels in California are really tiny, especially when you compare them to the thug out gangster squirrels that we had in the Pacific Northwest, or that I've seen here in Kansas. They were just little dudes. I mean, scrawny little dudes. And so you kind of always feel glad that they got the avocado, because, they look like they're starving, so, you get used to that kind of thing. Anyway, I totally hijacked myself talking about avocados and about Fallbrook and about squirrels. But, Lisa could inspire you, and you'd be all of a sudden like, I've never wanted to eat guacamole before, but now I want to. Okay. And then some people got into Lisa's head. And I don't know specifically. I could find out. I have friends of mine that could totally tell me exactly who sold her on this concept of it. They got under her head and told her, because Lisa had, and I do know some of the story, Lisa had decided to begin to actually start teaching speaking, because she's amazing at it. And so she should be a shoe-in natural for, hey, if I want to learn how to be a powerful, polished, awesome, amazing speaker, I want to learn to speak like Lisa Nichols. Okay. And I've had this discussion with several people, both in Lisa's organization as well as, I mentioned it to Lisa. The problem with Lisa teaching you how to be a speaker is, as much of what she can teach you that she can tell you, go back and look at, because I know, and I actually knew several of the people that were helping her put together that course. And they're talking about, why do you do this? And why do they're helping her look at the mechanics of something that she just did naturally. It's like when a little kid runs. It's the most fun to watch the little ones run, because they don't really think about anything other than just moving their little legs just as fast as they can. It's not at that stage. And when Lisa was on the Oprah show and those kind of things, was very much her speaking style. And so in going through and slating that out, and then some couple other people that she collaborated with there for a while, they tried to really get it to be very, what I'm going to call actor training coaching. And that's not saying that, performance coaching is totally, is absolutely a great thing to do if you're going to get up and perform. But that isn't necessarily what your voice needs when you get on and you're going to speak. And unfortunately, what those people did is they were trying to get Lisa to be even more, dramatize this thing more and move this way and breathe this way and speak, and there was a particular gentleman, and I'm glad I don't remember his name because I wouldn't call him out by name anyway, but he was very much that way, and he would fall to the floor, and I was on the floor, and I was crying my eyes out, and it's like, no. If a panel of people who are critiquing your performance, and he won a competition, eWomen Network actually had a competition, and he won at the eWomen Network International that particular year previous to when he was working with Lisa. And judging his performance, he nailed it performance-wise. And if you're talking about your speech, your talk on stage being a performance, if you are focused on performance, and I'm really, you can maybe even see me threading the needle here, because like I said, I do have some really good friends that are absolutely performance coaches, and I do really absolutely believe in what they're doing. But I want to rip all of that away from you today. Not to diss what they do, and not to say that if you want to learn those things, because they will help you. Because a good performance coach is actually going to get you beyond that over dramatification to the point where you actually get back to the point where you're talking and you're just you, and you just roll with it. And when the dog scratches on the door, you just integrate it into. And that is really, really good. And that's why I do totally recommend that. But I want to get you back to square one. And I think square one is lacking. In fact, I should probably find a domain name that's something about actually starting at the beginning. I got to think about that more. That's a good, see, I'm always telling you, you speak it out, your ears hear it, and that's where clarity comes. Even as I'm talking and teaching you here, I'm getting clearer and clearer every single time I say it. Because ultimately, and whenever anybody asks me, I'm like, yeah. It's like people that are like, hey, what do you think about these new AI written books? I'm like, well, the problem is that the people that are writing the AIs don't know. Most of them don't really understand the whole concept of books. But besides that, the person who's using the AI system, they don't really know themselves, because all of those systems skip step one. And that's, you got to understand who you are, what's your passion, and what's your purpose in the world. And then also, and just as important, is who are you meant to serve, and what do they need? You need to have all of that and understand it really deeply before you ever get into a word on the book. Because, and I've said this many, many times, if you go back and you listen to my lives over the last several months especially, you're going to hear me say over and over again, you can't be clear until you know what you're clear about. And that comes from truly understanding yourself. Clarity is powerful. But until you have that clarity, because, and the thing that I'm always quoting, because I skipped right over that, is the thing you really need to talk about, you need to coach about, you need to have a whole company around, that your book should be written about, is the thing that's so easy for you that you're not even thinking about it right now. Even as I'm telling you, you're not thinking about it, you're still not thinking about that. I remember the first time I said this to somebody I was coaching, and they said, I don't know what that is. They actually literally called I think it was their personal assistant or one of their close friends. I forget exactly who. And they're like, what's the one thing that I talk about all the time that I just go on nonstop about? And for the most part, I'm not dissing that person at all. That's the way we all are. It's just so intricately a part of who we are that we don't even notice it. We don't even know that it's a thing, and we assume everybody must be okay at that. I've used often the example of, tying your shoes, or okay, let's go even a step easier than that. Slipping into slip-ons. Okay. You got a pair of Crocs like what I'm wearing on my feet right now. It should seem fairly self-explanatory. And it's interesting to me, and I had never even thought about this until my mom brought it up. One time when I was getting ready to put on my shoes, and she said something, because I always put the little strap thingy, that can go behind your heel. I always just flip it up. I've always worn my Crocs that way. Because Crocs are just easy to slip in and slip out of. And I run around the house all day in my slipper Crocs. I actually have two pairs now. One is my walking, and yeah, I have a pair of tennis shoes and blah, blah, blah. Okay. But the concept of, oh no, you just put that up and then you just slide into the shoes like you would with slippers. I never even thought about it. I just did it. And the concept of flipping it back and having that be behind your heel and adjusting. The strap is actually adjustable. I actually just noticed this on a pair that I had the other day. I had never even paid attention to it. There's probably somebody out there that's teaching the proper way to wear Crocs. It's like the age-old joke about old men in Crocs and socks. And I unfortunately find myself often being that person now, because I just admitted to you I wear Crocs. And I used to never, ever, ever wear socks with them. I mean, just no. I was living in Southern California, right, when I started wearing Crocs to begin with. And then I went to the doctor because I had a doctor, and she was just the whiz at referring you to everything. Every single thing you needed to go to, she needed to write you another referral. I think she got paid for every time she referred you to somebody and you actually went to it. I'm pretty sure that's probably how it works. But you go to the podiatrist, and I do know enough about health to know that the health of your feet says a lot about the health of the whole rest of you. And when you live in a dry climate like what California is, because it's really a desert, and stuff like that, it's really easy to have very, very, especially when you're wearing no socks and you're not moisturizing properly and all those things that a podiatrist is going to nag you about. It's very easy to have very dry and cracked, especially heels of your feet. And you'll find that when you get to that certain age, right around 50-ish, they really start nagging you about wearing socks, about moisturizing your feet and then putting socks on and having that be the way that you kind of show up in the world. And I had no idea. I'm like, wow, man, that just totally puts a whole different. And you see, it's so simple and so basic that we totally dismiss it. It's like when you get dressed in the morning. Do you actually think about how to put your pants on? When you brush your teeth, do you actually think about, this is how I put the paste on, and this is how I hold my breath? You just do it. But, most of the time we don't even think the whole time while we're doing it. We're thinking about something completely different. We just, before we know it, have you ever had that, time in the middle of the night where you're like, did I brush my teeth before I went to bed tonight? And you have to stop and really think about it, or check your toothbrush to see if it's, if it's wet from rinsing it off afterwards. The same thing is true with your voice. I know you think I've gone totally off the rails, but I'm really actually right on track. Your voice isn't too much. It isn't too little. You don't need to get out on stage and be louder or boomier or be softer and more sullen. Step one, okay? Yes, when you get to the place where you're ready to work with the performance coach and learn how to use your arms the right way and how to project yourself vocally and all those kind of things, those are absolutely necessary. But we're on step one, okay? We're talking about going from the whisper to the roar, from the silence to the spoken. And right now, you need to just show up as you. You need to just pick up your phone and just say, hey, it's who I am. What you got going on, world? I mean, whatever your words are. I mean, I told you, I had that one day. It was, when I was getting ready to go into the surgery that I had in November, I think it was, of last year. And I was just standing out there and I was just like, I just want you to know, you're amazing. That was it. That was the whole, and it blew up. And often I find, especially on TikTok, some of my most popular TikToks are ones where I'm only about 10 or 15 seconds. People like that. And the other thing about it is that they show statistically that the 20-second mark is where a lot of people drop off of your lives or your shorts or any of those kind of things. Why not just make them 20 seconds or less? Give somebody something really powerful. See, I'm not encouraging you that you have to go live like I do and talk for 30 or 45 minutes. You can. Absolutely. 5 seconds, 5 hours. Doesn't matter. Loud, quiet, expressive with your arms like I am. Your hands completely folded. You got your hands sitting on the edge of the desk and you're like a news reporter. And that's the way it was. I'm Walter Cronkite. Just be you. Don't do your impression of Oprah or of Lisa or those kind of things. Because I can tell you, that transition that Lisa went through was some of the worst speaking she ever did. And I'm not saying she wasn't still incredibly amazing, okay? Her worst is better than most everybody's best. Want to hear a funny story? Because I've been told by my people that they like hearing my stories. When Maya's my youngest daughter who married Jelani, Lisa's son. And at the wedding, different ones were going up and talking and it came time for, the bride's family to talk. And of course I was the one that they were going to send up. And I think actually her one sister had talked to, and so it was like, you're going to go say something is essentially what my wife told me. And so of course I was going to go say something, but that's okay. I was there for the thing. And I got up front, and I was just having fun with it because I didn't have anything prepared. I didn't have this rousing father of the bride speech. And today I want to give you wisdom. I actually started off by saying, anybody want to hear some baby Maya stories? And everybody was like, yes. And I just did like what I do here. Nothing prepared. I knew the concept of what we're going to talk about today, but I want to be here with you. And I just spent that time with it. The person that came up after me was Lisa Nichols. And this is me being humble, because true humility is the right perspective of yourself. I did better than Lisa did in that talk. And she knew it. You could see it on her face. She had to choose over again. She would have wanted to go before me, because then the room would have remembered her, because the room remembered me. I know, because several of her family members came and said, wow. And people that work in, I was just being me. I didn't do it to do Lisa in, to upstage Lisa. I didn't even know she was going to be the next person that came up. It was just being me. I was just doing very much like what we do here. And yes, I did tell a couple of cute little Maya stories. Maybe someday we'll integrate some Maya stories in there too. It's just one of those kind of things. You just be you. For the person that you are meant to serve, for the person I know you can help. Absolutely, I know it. You showing up and just being you. Maybe you're a wear a dirty t-shirt kind of a person. Maybe the wearing the collar shirt is totally disingenuous for you. You would never. And I go back and forth sometimes myself in it, because pretty much the only times that I wear a shirt with a collar is when I'm on stage or in some of my live streams. And you'll notice that sometimes I, wear t-shirts. I just wear the t-shirt that I've got on. Sometimes my hair is really slicked back and sometimes it's a little fluffier like it is today. Just kind of depends on where I am. Now, I know people who a part of their brand is, the blue streak in their hair, or like Molly Mahoney, her sparkle pants. And so every time they're out and they're live, they're going to be doing that. And you can develop that kind of branding stuff. But long before you develop the streak in your hair, the sparkle pants, the specific, gesture. Like, I remember the first time I saw a politician that started doing this. Okay. And I'm not saying that necessarily it was the first politician that was the one that did the point like this, did the this as opposed to the point, which is supposedly supposed to be something, less confrontational. But then everybody started doing it, and now it's just that kind of thing. Just be you. Just show up as you. Raw, real, completely you. We'll get into all the performance stuff and all those kind of things. And do you need to speak louder? Do you need to speak quieter? Should you talk longer? Should you talk shorter? All of those have nothing to do with where you are right now and what you need to do. Because what you want to be is seen. You want to be heard. You want to be visible. You want to be valuable. And yeah, you want to get paid. And all of those are steps beyond. First thing you got to do is just talk. Just be you. Just show up. Just say it. Say the thing. Long after you say the thing, we can develop the skills. Even if you do it completely unclear, we can help you find the clarity. Man, I'm not saying the word clarity well today. We can help you find the word clarity. Even when Steve can't pronounce the word clarity, we can help you get to that place. We've got Safe Space, Visibility Amplifier community, and I do hope you'll come and join us. VisibilityAmplifier.com, so that you can have the safe space to start trying on your voice. To, okay, and I'm always talking like this is a go live, but what if you just hit the record button and you just recorded yourself? And you weren't actually live streaming it because you don't have the guts to do that, or you feel, or you're hearing that voice in your head that's whoever told you you're too loud, you're too soft, you're too this, you're too that, you're too fat, you're too thin. You have blonde hair, you have brown hair, you have blue eyes, you have green. Whatever crazy, stupid thing that they said meant anything. The person that you are meant to serve, the one that's suffering in your silence, they need you to talk today. Loud, quiet, whatever, just do it. And that's what Visibility Amplifier community is for, is a place for you to practice and you to show up and you to be there. And we've got some cool things going on in there for you. We hope you will come and join us. Just talk today. Pick up the phone, record it if you're not comfortable going live, and just show up. Just speak it. Whatever comes to your mind. You're frustrated about something political, go political. I try to stay completely away from that. Your dog's scratching at the door, being a crazy maniac. I met the guy that is the voice of Wacko Warner yesterday. So cool. I was like texting everybody. It's like, guess who I just met? I just met Wacko Warner. Really, really cool guy. Such an honor. He's also, by the way, the voice of Crash Bandicoot. So cool stuff. And he didn't come on and try to do some kind of yakko, wacko, and dot kind of thing with me. He just was just himself, and we were just talking about, his life and his book and the things that, and if there's a way I can help him, I'd love to. And I'd love to help you too. We're here for you. We want you to be clear. We want you to show up as you. Yeah, I can help you outline your messaging and know clearly who you are and all those kind of things. And all of those aren't me pitching you. Those are just me showing up. That's why we created Visibility Amplifier, is so that you can drop the word clear into the DMs or into the comments, and we can help you really get it done, really show up in the world and make a powerful impact. If it resonated with you, if you've been the one who has been told you're too much, you're not enough, you're this, you're that, I encourage you to let all that go today. Come on and join us in Visibility Amplifier. Let us show you just how incredibly cool you already are, because you are, and we believe in you. Tomorrow we're going to talk about from words to message, how what you say becomes what you're known for. See, we're on a process. We're on a journey this week to go from the afraid to whisper to a roaring message. And we're going to get there. And I hope you'll join us again. And I hope all day today you're happy, you're safe, you're warm, you're loved. I hope that if you're not feeling those, that there's a way and a place that you can find those for yourself today. You know that I'm here for you, that I believe in you, that I'll be back again tomorrow. I feel kind of like Mr. Rogers when I say that. I'll be back when the day is new, and I'll have more ideas for you. And you'll have things you want to talk about. I will too. Yes, I did grow up watching Mr. Rogers, and I still love him to this day. And I hope you have an amazing day. And until we're together again next time, which again is tomorrow, I hope you have a great week.